Hello everyone, welcome to the English practical course. Today we are going to discuss one of the most beloved and popular topics among students, the link between man and music. So the question is, how music can literally heal the heart? I suppose everyone remembers how after a tiring day at home you just switched on your favorite songs or melodies. Sometime later you understand that the things are never Hello everyone, welcome to the English practical course. Today we are going to discuss one of the most beloved and popular topics among students, the link between man and music. So the question is, I want you to think about how music can literally heal the heart. So I suppose that each of you remembers how after a tiring day at home, you switch on your favorite songs or music, and sometime later you understand that you finally found the solution. The problems do not seem so serious, so bad as they seemed before. So music not only can reduce the level of anxiety and stress, it also regulates our mood. In general, it boosts our immune system and increases motivation and performance. If you are fond of listening to classical or modern music, it doesn't matter what, it's up to you. The question of tastes. After some time, you reveal a kind of feature that you want to try something new, something interesting. So the level of your powers somehow increase. That's because of music. So also listening to music improves sleep quality. Okay, the list of just strong sides of listening to music are depicted on this slide. And to learn the tight link between the brain, work, and music, we are given kind of picture showing us the brain's reaction to music on right, and on left the brain at rest. You see that different colors on right characterize our neurons working strongly, yeah, when we listen to music that we really love. Okay, and the brain at rest, you could see another scheme. And in the light of the given lecture, I'd like to discuss the story of life of one of the most prominent German composers, conductors, and pianists, Ludwig van Beethoven. So the question is, so if Beethoven was completely deaf, how did he compose? It's a well-known fact that a lot of pieces of work were written by Beethoven when he was completely deaf. Ludwig was still pumping out the masterpieces, even when he was completely deaf. For the last 3 years, my hearing has grown steadily weaker, wrote Beethoven, aged 30, in a letter to a friend. The young Beethoven was known as the most important musician since Mozart. By his mid-20s, he had studied with Haydn and was celebrated as a brilliant virtuoso pianist. Could you imagine it? Yeah, the fame, the love of audience. By the time he turned 30, he had composed a couple of piano concertos, 6 strings quartets, and his first symphony. Everything was looking pretty good for the guy with the prospect of a long, successful career ahead. So all the doors were opened. Yeah, could you imagine that? But then he started to notice a buzzing sound in his ears, and everything was about to change. That was when Beethoven was 26 years old, a young man, full of power, enthusiasm, love to music, people. Okay, so we continue. Beethoven tried to keep news of the problem secret from those closest to him. you could understand the reason. He feared his career would be ruined if anyone realized. For 2 years, I have avoided almost all social gatherings because it is impossible for me to say to people I'm deaf, he wrote. If I belonged to any other profession, it would be easier, but in my profession, it is a frightful state. Beethoven could apparently still hear some speech and music until 1812, but by the age of 44 he was almost totally deaf and unable to hear voices or so many of the sounds of his beloved countryside. It must have been devastating for him. Just could you imagine, a young man full of love, full of talents, once stopped hearing nature, all the sounds, the silence, even the silence, it's also music. But anyway, he continued working, a very strong man. So I'd like to add that the exact cause of his hearing loss is unknown. Theories range from different diagnoses, simple poisoning, and other reasons. Even his habit of plunging his head into cold water to keep himself awake was among these reasons. The cause of this must be the condition of my belly, which, as you know, has always been wretched and has been getting worse, wrote Beethoven. Okay, he still left kind of place for joking. Yeah, strong man. Okay, so taking a lukewarm bath of Danube water seemed to help Beethoven's stomach ailments, but his deafness became worse. I'm feeling stronger and better, except that my ears sing and buzz constantly day and night, would admit Beethoven later. One bizarre remedy was strapping wet bark to his upper arms until it dried out and produced blisters. This didn't cure the deafness, it only served to keep him away from his piano for 2 weeks. So, in 1822, he gave up seeking treatment for his hearing. Somehow he was in despair, you understand. He didn't believe that kind of remedy exists, yeah? He tried a range of hearing aids, such as special hearing trumpets, but they didn't help. Beethoven had heard and played music for the first 3 decades of his life, so he knew how instruments and voices sounded and how they worked together. His deafness was a slow deterioration rather than sudden loss of hearing, so he could always imagine in his mind what his compositions would sound like. Beethoven's housekeeper, just have a look, yeah. Remembered that as his hearing got worse, he would sit at the piano, put a pencil in his mouth, touching the other end of it to the soundboard of the instrument to feel the vibration of the note. So in his early works, when Beethoven could hear the full range of frequencies, he made use of higher notes in his compositions. As his hearing failed, he began to use the lower notes that he could hear more clearly. Works including the Moonlight Sonata, his only opera, Fidelio, and 6 symphonies were written during this period. The high notes returned to his compositions towards the end of his life, which suggests he was hearing the works take shape in his imagination. So did Beethoven continue to perform? Yes, he did. But he ended up wrecking pianos by banging on them so hard in order to hear the notes. So, the strongest man, the most talented composer, conductor. If you have time, please listen to his compositions. There is a list that you will find useful. I do sure that you will enjoy all of them. Now, thank you for your attention. If you have any questions or you simply want to discuss some of the facts of Beethoven's difficult life, please leave a comment or contact me. Thank you for your attention. See you. Bye.